Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to crumble!
I'm Joshua Kemble, and welcome to Joshua Kemble's Livestream. I've been a freelance illustrator and graphic designer for over 20 years. I was an art director for 9 years. And when I'm not art directing and working on illustrations and graphic designs, I'm working on comic books and graphic novels, and that's usually what I do during my streams. And while conversations can go all over the place on this stream, from spicy and entertaining to goofy and silly, one thing throughout every stream, I'll always be working on art. So pull up a chair, get your art supplies out, and get ready for an entertaining show that'll keep you company while you work on your own personal art projects. This is Joshua Kemble's Art Stream. All right, welcome to episode 318 of my live stream. On this stream, we're just going to do a really short stream today and just work for a little bit on the colors for page 84 of Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, which is a graphic novel that I'm doing for Turner Publishing. So we're going to be just doing flat colors and kind of see how that goes. And again, the method that I'm doing these flat colors in, let me go ahead and pull them up. The method that I'm doing these in is not going to be like the typical method that you'd use for flatting, because generally when you're flatting inks that are just ink, they tend to have like a aliased edge where basically there's like a solid edge to make selections from. But because I'm using kind of a more like anti-aliased pencil, I have to go in and manually select the flats. So that's kind of the difference. Otherwise, you'd be using like the magic wand and stuff like that for this. So this is going to be a chill stream today, nothing spicy. And we're just going to be working on art for like a good hour, and then I'm probably going to, bail and get my kid to sleep. So it's been a pretty big day. I am still kind of working on multiple projects. I have a couple freelance things lined up. I had a big disappointment today because I thought I had kind of a full-time opportunity. For those of you who don't know, I left my job as an art director about a month ago. And so I've been kind of doing what I can to kind of like make income and at the same time, like, seek other work. And there was something that sounded really promising lined up for today that then disappeared very quickly. And so it is one of those weird things of like, one of the hard things, the higher up you get with finding work is it's like you end up in this weird kind of overqualified position where you're quite often really overqualified for the work that you're applying for. So a lot of hiring managers wouldn't even like consider it because they're just like, I don't know, this guy will bail second there's a better offer. And so that's kind of been my scenario. And then today there was a bit of a disappointment. So I'm kind of trying to keep optimistic and positive while also kind of, remaining on the hunt. But things get kind of tense, in these kind of scenarios. But again, like, being an artist, I'm familiar with like the idea of like the floor dropping out and stuff like that. But it's nonetheless a little concerning. But anyhow, what we're doing today is getting our graphic novel done that we need to do for our publisher. We're going to get another page colored and knocked out. And then hopefully we'll be able to bust through these pretty quickly because this isn't like the most complicated page. But you can quote me on saying that on multiple streams in the past and probably find areas where that might not be the case. Where I'll think, oh yeah, I'm really far along, I'll get a ton done, and then I don't. But we'll see how that goes. So right now, I think what we'll do is we're just going to go through each panel. And in this case, I'm just going to deselect everything that is going to be white in each panel. What I've done before that is take all the panel borders and we kind of use those as selections to kind of fill like flat white. Here, I'll turn off the background layer so you can kind of see what we did. So we have flat white in those layers, and then we have our text on its own layer. So that's kind of what we've gotten done so far. So yeah, it's been an interesting day. We had like Ben had like a back to school thing, so we went to that. Um, and yeah, I got some relatively bad news today. Um, but I'm not like fully out of the fight or discouraged or anything like that. But it is definitely an interesting day. It's been a challenging one. Um, I think we'll do all the selections for the white on this page. So basically, these doves, Elizabeth's eyes, which are not showing. She has these kind of silk or lace kind of pattern on her current dress. So we're kind of deselecting that. And we'll see how far we can get by, 8 o'clock, where we'll be calling the stream. So yeah, let's see some other follow-ups on things that I'm doing. So there's a script that I'm adapting for a graphic novel, and that's been taking a lot longer than I initially expected. To kind of break down, a script, and it's a script for 2 stories, 2 different books that we're going to be pitching. And in order to get to the pitch pages, I need to actually work up the script so it's ready for graphic novel. Um, and I've put in a bit of work on that, but that's something I need to get done. I have a couple illustrations that I need to do for a client that I might do some of them on stream. And then I have another few illustrations for that kids book client that my wife and I are working with. And maybe I'll do some of that on stream as well. So that's kind of what's going on with like, commercial work and stuff like that. And the kind of bigger plans for like longer term stuff. I am really excited about this book collaboration. And I can't wait to kind of announce it like once we have it kind of being pitched out and potentially picked up. Yeah, and we'll just kind of see where things go. So, okay, so page 83. Oh, we got to do eyeballs here. I almost forgot the eyeballs. So that's Bosco's eyeballs here. That'd be good to get. And we'll go ahead and get Robert's eyeballs as well. And what else? I guess we'll just continue. Okay, let's continue here. And we'll go to page. Here it is. I accidentally made the selection instead of a deselection, so we'll go to select inverse. Should work a little better. Whose eyeballs we just check out? Okay, these are going to be Robert's eyes, which aren't even showing in this image, so that's the wrong selection to make. Let's do Bosco eyeballs. And we're going to just go through and get all these flats done. And it'll be exciting times. Hopefully, you guys are working on cool stuff, getting your own projects done. And I try to do these streams, whenever I'm working, especially whenever I'm working on comics, because otherwise I'd just be working on comics alone. But today I did it a little impromptu and didn't really announce it on any of the socials. So I don't know. If you're tuning in now or after the fact, consider yourself lucky. Okay, we've got that going on. And again, like I'm gonna probably be doing this stream till about 8 o'clock, and then I might come back on for an hour or so. Hopefully, finish up these flats. Just get Elizabeth's lips. Do those even show here? They don't. Maybe we can do Elizabeth's dress. Let's do that. Let's see here. So Elizabeth's dressed. We'll go ahead and get in there. Get that spread out. And we're going to do this. This is going to be the chair that she's sitting in. And again, it's kind of a weird way to do flats. We're just kind of working reductively. And starting with like the larger areas and then just kind of working our way through the kind of smaller details. And this is the line without the shading over it. But yeah, it was fun to see my son's classroom and meet his teacher and stuff like that. That was pretty awesome. Let's see what else. We've got hair here. Hair we're going to do. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having a good one. And I kind of think this page, Bosco is basically starting a conversation. Robert is mentioning an interest in skepticism. Bosco is kind of confiding in him about it. He has a hobby of debunking charlatans. And we've got gotta just get through this page. I'm excited by how this book is coming out, even though it's coming along very slowly. It is going to be a really beautiful book. There's a lot of particular challenges that have come up so far in the illustration of this book. That's kind of to be expected, right? You sort of expect that when you take on a different graphic novel or whatever, there will be challenges that kind of come your way. I've found most of them pretty invigorating. And here we go. So we're going to go ahead and deselect this mouth. Okay. Got it. And deselect this as well. And then we can do our bow tie. Like it. And then from there, we'll go ahead and do our vest, which I think his vest is the same color. Let's see here. Yeah, his vest is the same color as his shirt. That's fascinating to me. I thought it was like reversed. Nope, I think we got it right. Okay. I was just double checking some of the previous pages because I was a little worried. Maybe I'm getting the flats wrong. Okay, his vest is going to be this color. And we're just going to go ahead and work our way through these flats for the next hour or so. And we're going to do our feet there. And go ahead and get that going. Gonna get this. And now we'll do Robert here. And here we go. So now we're going to do our jacket. And CBC Legends just gave a thumbs up. How's it going? So we're just working on flats for flat colors for my graphic novel called Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And just kind of getting some work done. It's a chill stream today. Sometimes I have streams where we get into like really spicy topics and stuff like that. This is not one of them. This is just a kickback, work on comics, see how far we can get by 8. And we're going to just get the pants here. And then we'll do Robert's face. Kind of making sure it's consistent with the colors on the previous pages. And I totally missed his bow tie. So we'll go back and cover that in a second. Let me double check. Yeah, his bow tie is this color. Now I'm kind of a little concerned because I'm worried that I might have done, let's see. Okay, interesting. I think I got Bosco's pants the wrong color, so we have to redo those, which is not a problem. Pretty easy way to do that. We'll just kind of go here, and then we'll deselect all of these little spots. Nice. Hopefully this will let us kind of correct Bosco's pants. I almost thought for a second they were the same color as Robert's, and they're not. Robert's is more kind of a purple. Bosco's is more kind of a blue. So once we're done with this, then we can kind of get into a little bit further. Let's see. Okay, we have a few things to do. We have this guy who just walked into frame, who I think we saw. I actually don't think we saw him yet. So he's going to have kind of his own. Let me see here. For a second, I thought he was like the usher, but he's not. So he'll have his own thing. So in that case, maybe we have him like kind of the same color as Bosco. And then his jacket will be, we'll do like a brown just to kind of juxtapose with the other surroundings and stuff. Okay. And now we just kind of have to pull just a little bit of Eliza here. I forgot about her reflection, which is going to be showing through in the mirror. So Elizabeth is, now we're going to do her hair. And then we'll do his jacket again. Now we'll actually need her lip color. And after that, we'll need her eye color. After that, we'll kind of do the white here and kind of work our way through. Okay, and then we'll have her blue dress again. Which can go here. And then we can start, maybe we'll do the mirror next. Let's do the chair first. And then we'll do the mirror color. Eventually there will be a color hold over the mirror part, which is where you kind of paint over the lines. But we'll kind of handle that last, once we have all the panels flatted. And we're going to do our mirror color here. Yeah, it's been an interesting day or two. It's there've been a lot of kind of distractions outside of work that have slightly like gotten, you know, a little bit delayed on where I'd like to be. But I also kind of feel like that's just sort of life. Like you end up quite often getting busy and stuff. And half the fight of art is just to stay persistent. And I think basically, if you keep fighting, you will win or you'll learn, right? I think as long as you keep fighting, you will win or you will learn. And so to me, I think half the challenge is just keep up the fight. And even when it seems hard, kind of work on these things. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna do the beak of the bird, the beak and the feet of the bird. If the feet, I don't think the feet are gonna need much, but these little beaks are gonna be color filled. So let's get in there, and then let's do our wood dowel. And there's another wood dowel over here. They're kind of similar Victorian bird cages. Okay, now we're going to do our gold color. And that's particularly going to just affect the bird cages. Bernie has gotten back from his daily walk, nightly walk, and he's pretty happy. For anyone who doesn't know, that's my dog, Bernie. He's pretty awesome. He's okay. He's a pretty good dog. So there we go. We've got we're just kind of picking the flat colors in the room. Luckily, like there's a couple things that'll expedite this process. We've already made a lot of the color choices already. So that's going to make this go much more swimmingly than if we had to kind of reinvent the wheel of color. The downside is because, you know, these are kind of sequential pages and we've already picked the color, it can make it slightly tedious to kind of try to get through and get through all the colors. I know there's other gold here, so we're going to get all that right now. So the other gold would be the lining here. Let me double check the door too. I'm pretty sure the doors in this are gold as well. We'll have to see on page 81 where we really established that shot. Yeah, in 81, we have the door handle, yes, is the same gold. Okay, great. So we're going to have this here. And then we're going to deselect all the gold in the panel. And before you know it, we'll be done flatting this whole panel. I did underestimate, though. I kind of predicted that I would. And this is going to take a little bit longer. It's not going to take a lot, but it's definitely going to take longer than an hour to execute. However, the panel will be done by the time we end stream. Possibly two. We might get through two panels. There's a gold thing here. And now is where we want to get into maybe the floor color. See if we can do that. Oh, we missed a spot. Now let's get into the floor color. The floor color is this kind of light pink. A little tough because a lot of these colors are pulling from colors that actually exist in said theater. Okay. Just getting a better view of what's going on here. And we're just going to deselect the entire floor here. There's going to be a couple color holds on this page because that part that says what is it is probably going to go to white because it kind of falls into the shading once we see it with the shading. And you will see this with the shading in a second. So we can, double check everything's cool. So now we're going to be doing this. Let's see here. We'll get into our border. And then we'll get into our background here. And then after that, what's up? Oh, I didn't hear. Okay, we're gonna do this. Get this door deselected. And then we should be fairly close to done on this panel, which is very exciting. So now we're gonna go with that darker tone of the interior hallways. If we can find it. Yeah, here it is. And that's going to be here. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and kind of color fill the rest. I think white. Oh, wait, we need to get the lip of the door, which is right here. And I believe it's the same. Yeah, it's the same background color as the hallway door. So now I'll kind of pick this. Now I'm noticing this small detail here. And I think once we have that, should be good to, I think, just fill white. We'll see. Are there any colors we're missing? I don't think so. So now we can just fill white and zoom out and deselect that white. And let's color fill the stuff that hasn't been colored magenta. And then let's see how this looks with the layers. I really dig it. Okay, we're gonna do a save, and since we finished a panel, we'll take a quick break for a commercial. And when I come back, we'll probably be able to color at least one more panel before I have to go do book time with my kid. So here it is. And yeah, I'll be right back.
We know the Georgia kids say the craziest thing.
So, little Susie, do you have any brothers or sisters? I understand you're in 3rd grade. How do you like that? Do you like your teacher? You like to do a lot of fun things at school? You got any hobbies, Susie? Any things you like to do when you're not in school? I hear you like to read.
Well, right now I'm reading 2 stories written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. It grapples with faith and mental illness. It's ultimately a story about redemption. It's a savage piece of writing. Also, I just finished up Jacob's Apartment, another one by Kemble. Jacob's Apartment weaves together elements of spiritualism and relationship dynamics, as well as atheism, and all the while it deals with abandonment and loyalty. It's a fierce, fierce read.
Do you like ponies?
Was Jim Luhan's wonderful animation advertising my comics, Jacob's Apartment and Two Stories. If you want to support indie artists, Paul said, "Hey Josh, is this a chill stream? I need to know where to set my expectations." Yes, it's a very chill stream. Do not worry. We're just working on art. I'm literally just talking my way through flat colors, Paul. So don't worry. There was enough chaos. There's so much spicy stuff that we have to go over that happened today. But I don't know, today I just was not into it. I feel like I need to regulate the spicy streams. I think like every once in a while you can do spicy and go hard, and then like you got to kind of chill for a little bit and then do another spicy stream, kind of keep people on their toes. I think that's probably the best way to kind of navigate those things. Yeah, I got to like recharge the Kremble. But there is some stuff, man. Like there's a particular portrait that came out today that I'd love to show, but we'll get into that on a future show. Let's see here. So we're just going through and just busting out flat colors. Yeah, Paul said too much spice can upset your tummy. Well, that's something I learned years ago because I am a bit of a political animal. I like engaging in politics. I don't like it, but I like love hate it. But one thing I've realized as I've gotten older is like I kind of don't care to all the time. Yeah, like Thomas Adams said, too much spice can give you indigestion. 100%. How are you guys doing? Paula, how's your comic coming? Thomas, how's your thing coming? Paul said, a particular portrait. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we'll get into it on a future stream. But yeah, like for today, I also, I'm just being transparent. I had a rough day. I thought a solution was coming to financially kind of get us in a better spot. Not that we're bad yet, but it's like, I'm kind of on the hunt. I've gotten some freelance work that I have to get done. So that's the first thing I'm going to do after this is a cool sea themed portrait for a long-term client that I have in Germany that does really cool t-shirts and graphics and stuff like that. They're kind of like their store location is like right by this beautiful ocean front, and they sell like sea themed stuff that's specific to that location. So it's kind of like if you've ever been to like Shoreline Village in Long Beach, it's like that, but it's a fashion retailer in Germany that does that. And I've worked for her for years. She's one of our favorite. My wife has worked for her for years, almost 10 years now, I would think, that we've been doing freelance for her. And so I'm really excited. I have about 4 or 5 t-shirt designs that I need to make for her. But at the same time, I'm looking for a few things to kind of stabilize, where we're at so that we can kind of match a little bit of the life we had, when I was art directing. And there was an opportunity today that just fell flat on its face. And it wasn't anything I've talked about on stream, but it literally, like, even the potential of it, like the hope that it was causing me to be filled with was just like I was really high hopes on it. I allowed myself to get like really excited about it, and then it didn't come through. So that's another reason I don't want to do like a spicy stream, because today was a rough day. So not to whine or anything like that, because again, I know it's corny, but I feel like I just said this to my kid today too, because my son was, he's learning how to kind of deal with doing homework, and no kid likes doing homework. But today, I told him, like, there's no failing. There's just like basically winning or learning. And then if you choose to fail, then you choose to fail. but it's like, no failure is actual failure. And I was telling him that just to like make him more comfortable about like taking some minor risks, because it's like life is risk. And so anyhow, I was telling my kid that, and I was like actually finding myself. I have moments like this quite a lot as a parent where I was like, oh, I got to remember that too. That like, basically my experience doing creative art has, and I've been doing this professionally for 20 years. So it's been just being blindly persistent and continuing to race and try. And, as corny as it is, like opportunities tend to present themselves. So I got to kind of trust the process. I do have work, which is good. I have work coming, so that's good. My wife and I have that kids book, and I have to do a couple spreads for that. So all of this stuff I'm planning on doing, a lot of it on stream, so I can hang out with you guys, and you can see some of my more like illustration-y approaches, which might be a nice little variety. Yeah, Paul said tomorrow is another day. Keep your chin up. Exactly. Yeah, but it was a rough day, so um, and it's like I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be much more pessimistic about things, partially as like a protection strategy where I wouldn't allow myself to get excited about things because I didn't want to get disappointed. And what I realized as I've gotten older is like either way you get disappointed, you know? So you might as well enjoy the moment that you can be excited, because those moments come few and far between. Now, either way, you're going to feel miserable if it doesn't happen. So why not enjoy it? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. So I've become a little bit more optimistic in my old age. That might be just getting older and like, becoming more kind of chill about stuff. Much like the political thing where it's like, man, I'll get political, I'll talk politics, but I don't think I could do that on a daily basis. Um, you know, without like burning out pretty quick because it just gets infuriating at some points, and you have to kind of you know moderate it. All things in moderation. Paul said, "Enjoy misery." No, I mean like enjoy the excitement. Like it's okay to get hopeful about things. Like you can't kind of quell hope just to try to tamper your expectations so you don't have disappointment. It's like, no, you're going to be disappointed anyway. So you might as well enjoy the moments before the disappointment because otherwise you're just spreading out the disappointment, right? Like if you don't even allow yourself to get excited, or at least, and I'm not saying you, by the way, I'm just talking about myself. If I don't allow myself to get excited or hopeful, then I tend to get like double sad because I'm still disappointed and I never got excited about it in the first place. So I didn't allow myself to enjoy it or to be disappointed by it. That's what I mean. And as I've gotten older, I've started realizing, no, you got to actually, like, at least I think it's just kind of silly, like let's say tomorrow, Paul, you were nominated for an Eisner, right? Which would be crazy awesome, right? Um, I mean, no one who would get nominated for an Eisner wouldn't be excited about it, who's a cartoonist and hopeful that they're going to get it. Like if you got that far where you're actually nominated, no matter how much people are like, oh, it's an honor and stuff like that, I'm sure it would hurt to be like, at the thing and then hear, nah, it didn't work out, even though it's a huge accomplishment, even getting there, right? Um, it's kind of like that. Like you might as well enjoy the nomination and the hope, And then, hey, if keep in mind, by the way, if anyone I know, I believe Dave Baker might have been nominated recently. I know Diana Schutz just got her lifetime achievement thing for the Eisners, which is really cool and well earned. But my point is, hey, if I know anyone out there who's been nominated for an Eisner and you don't allow yourself to get excited about it and enjoy the kind of moment of potential that you might actually get one, um, I would hope you'd allow yourself to just fantasize for a little bit, because either way, it's going to suck when you don't get it. And it's still going to be cool that you had an opportunity for it, but like that's my point, is like the younger me would be like, basically like slightly hope for the best, but fully expect for the worst. And now I'm kind of more like, I don't know, like, like, you know, I don't really think there's a wrong approach to it. I think everybody's got their own approach, but I think for me, I have found it much more beneficial to just allow yourself to hope. And, cause I think hope is like a beautiful thing that can get you through a lot of craziness. Paul was saying, I'm actually wondering why I haven't been nominated yet. Yeah, Paul, you're like the Karen calling the Eisner committee. You're like, excuse me, can I talk to your manager? You guys owe me an Eisner. Okay. I wonder how much that would blacklist somebody in the industry, calling every person on the Eisner panel and being like, "Excuse me, but Jacob's Apartment was not nominated, and I've been waiting here for like, could I get some service here?" Yeah, Paul said hope and change. Yeah. And then again, like, and then yeah, Frank was saying hope is what I cling to. Yeah, it's all we can do. And then just hopefully trust that, all things will work out for our good, Um all of that being said, I have not mastered disappointment though. Like it still sucks to, I'll put it this way, like, I'm working on a pitch right now with a really well-known author. It's taking forever to adapt to the script to the comics format for script, because there's a lot of things that need to change, like moments where like a character like nods as like a yes, and it's like, well, you can't. I mean, you can kind of do a nod in comics, but that's not going to read that well. So you kind of have to either dialogue it or show it with like action that's a lot more clear and a little more exaggerated than just like a slight nod, like a tilt of the head, like, "What's up, man?" I mean, you could do that, but that would take like 3 or 4 panels and it'd be a little harder to read or to communicate. It's little things like that that would be in like that are in the script, and it's not, the fault of the writer. It's just like it was a script. And so it's like modifying things like that so that, it's going to translate better as a comic. And then clarifying a few things too, and also including, panel by panel descriptions for myself, so that I should say when, not if, when we get a deal for it through my literary agency, it won't be a nightmare to kind of like have to parse through the script and make like a list of what all I need, because it'll be there. And then that saves me one step of the process in the thumbnail stage. But yeah, like, even with that, right, it's a decent opportunity and it's a risk, and it's gonna suck if like we pitch it around and it doesn't get picked up, like that never feels good. It never feels good to like oh, thank you for this, but Jacob's Apartment, before it got picked up by Graphic Mundi, every time I would submit it to a publisher, it felt really disappointing, whenever it would get rejected. It's like, it would feel really disappointing, you know? Um, but yeah, it's like, no matter how I approach it before, it's still disappointing. It still sucks to get shot down, so my point is like, almost like, like if my son ever gets the age of dating, and being interested in girls or something, and like wants to ask a girl on a date, that's what I would tell him is like, it's gonna suck if they say no, but you'll never know unless you ask. And then aside from that, like, you learn from it. Like you'll get better at learning how to ask somebody on a date. Like, like you get better at these kind of things with risk in life. So, anyhow, that's me rambling about Risk. Not the game Risk for the first time. It's probably the first time on stream I've mentioned Risk and it's not been the game of Risk. Okay, guys, we're gonna call it. But I want to ask you guys to subscribe and hit the bell and keep an eye out, especially if you're working on art in about 30 minutes. Because I plan on I'm gonna get my kid to bed, read him some books and stuff. And then afterwards, I'm planning on finishing up this page. So I will be back. I'll be back in a corny, horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger type voice. And you know what? Actually, will also. Paul said, "Was it a movie script?" Yes, it was a movie script. Yeah, and we have an arrangement on it too, where we're gonna kind of split ownership 50-50. Which is kind of exciting, but I have to do my due diligence. And it's a risk on both our ends, right? Because we're both, putting it out there and hoping we can get a big advance. I think with his name, we can probably pull a decent advance, but we'll see. Yeah, Paul said the first time I got a rejection from a film festival, I was really excited because I had a film. Yeah, there's that. I mean, and here's the thing, just about kind of rejection and submissions and stuff like that is that's a good point. It's like you aren't going to be getting rejected for pitching a book unless you have a book. So, hey, if you're at the point where you have a book, you should start framing those rejection letters because you're like one step further than a lot of cartoonists. Okay, guys, I will be back in about 20 or 30 minutes. So make sure you're following this channel. If you want to do me a solid before we call it, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. There will be another chill stream later tonight that might go a little bit longer because we only got through 2 panels and we got to get through 4 more. And then you know what? Like, also, you want to be subscribed because I might be working on some sea themed t-shirt designs on here. So I appreciate you guys. Frank was saying, how do you get nominated for an Eisner? You do have to like send them a send your comic to the Eisner committee or your person. Frank said, I framed my divorce approval. It means I had a wife. That's hilarious. That's the moment where Frank's like, no, it's not funny. It's true. It's literally framed on my wall. All right, guys. I will see you guys on the next live stream. We're gonna rock and roll. I really appreciate you guys, and we're gonna rock and roll more at around 8:30. So stick around. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.